Hello, Star Wars fans. Hey, there's just 275 days until Christmas 2022. Oh, and I still need to get some audio put to that little intro bit there, but I really like it and wanted to again thank our good friend Russell for helping me with that. And we've got Meg with us again today. And hello, my friend.
Hello, Star Wars Santa. Merry Christmas.
Thank you so much.
Endor.
I love your baby Ewok there.
I'm here with Nippet.
Oh, no.
That's her name. Her name is Nippet. She was puppeteered in Return of the Jedi.
Excellent. Brian with the beard. My brother, this spells his name the same way. He's not my real brother, but he's a Brian, spelled with a Y, like I am. And he has a beard, like I do. So there you go.
How do we know it's not just Santa's alt account? You know when he turns away from the screen to type? I think that's him just being Brian with the beard. Because then he can validate his own opinions.
That's a good point. That's
if really Brian the Beard starts saying like, oh, the sequels are amazing, you know that it's just Santa.
There you go. We've got some fantastic people here. Oh my goodness, look. Facebook is finally feeding in the chat. So thank you for that, Leia. We see a Facebook chat coming in. I know we haven't been able to, the integration, we simulcast over to Facebook and my messages went out, but the messages wouldn't come in. And so it's great to see that integration working. Thank you so much.
I knew it was
thank you for that, Brian. Appreciate it. Oh my goodness, we've got a lot of news this week. Most of it very spoilery. So we should mention right at the top that if you don't want the Kenobi spoiled, then we would love if you would leave a like, maybe share it, but then put us on mute, let it play in the background, and minimize it on your screen. So you won't see some of these spoilers that we have to share. And it's pretty exciting. And there's a lot of information coming on. Hey, Dawn's in Cincinnati, Mason, Ohio. You know what, Dawn? And I'm sorry, I'm chasing squirrels today.
You probably shouldn't do that. They're quite feisty.
They are. I'm doing an appearance in the Cincinnati area in December. So during the Santa Claus, the Christmas season, I'll be appearing as a professional Santa Claus in the Cincinnati area. So it's a bit of a drive for me, a little over 100 miles, but we'll be in that area.
Santa's stripping business. It's most popular at Christmas. He's a wink, wink, professional Santa Claus.
No,
we all know what that means.
You're misbehaving again, Meg. What? So anyway, there will be spoilers here. Let me put the little spoiler thing up there on the screen so that folks know, and we can't get too much grief for the spoilers here. Let's put that right there. It says it right there. Spoilers. Spoilers. We can move it around. Spoiler. There.
As long as you don't mess with my Ewok. That sounded better in my head.
That's funny. That's very funny. So thank you all for being here. Look, we're going to go to a couple of spoilers now. And our friend Jason Ward, MakingStarWars.net, who's in the chat. And I see Trinity made it in. Good to see you, Trinity. MakingStarWars.net. He's been giving us tons of spoilers and for Kenobi. And if you're not subscribed to his channel, you probably should be, because he is giving us new information all the time. And this is the first one that came out this week. Well, it's not necessarily the first, but it kind of ties everything together before we get to the new one. He shared with us Anakin's revenge. It was the fight that's going to happen earlier in the season. There's two fights that he's reported it's going to happen between Obi-Wan and Vader. And this first one saying that he won't have his lightsaber. And at the first of it jumped on me. There it is. This is supposed to happen on Jabiim, right? If I remember it right.
I believe so.
Yeah. Kenobi on fire. Filmed. It said at the end of the first encounter, somehow Darth Vader sets Obi-Wan's arm on fire.
I think this was on the moon of Mustafar, actually.
Oh, yeah. The moon of Mustafar. That's right, because they're taken to Jabiim. This is how he gets to Jabiim. I wanted to show this first because it puts it in some context. So he meets Vader. They're in a bit of a scuffle, and Obi-Wan loses. We were joking about that yesterday because I was having the internet issues, and that you had your child, and it's 5 years old. So, but anyhow. Good fun, but they're in this first encounter, right? They have a fight. Obi-Wan doesn't have his lightsaber, and he gets beaten very badly. Vader ends up burning his arm really bad, and O'Shea Jackson and Leia, O'Shea Jackson's character, and Leia take him to Jabiim, and he is put in a bacta tank there that heals him. And this is where there are a group of lack of a better term, rebels, right? That's early
partisans.
Partisans. These are not the partisans affiliated with Saw
Gerrera.
Saw Gerrera. All I could think of was his counterpart's name, Che Guevara. Saw Gerrera. Saw Gerrera. This isn't Saw's partisans. These are the other group of partisans, and he is kind of reinvigorated because he sees that there are people in the galaxy who are pushing back against the Empire. There are people who are gathering together. And what we learned just later this week was that there's going to be a Force colony there. There's going to be a whole bunch of Force sensitives who I see you, Martin.
So I have a question for Jason. I know he's not here, but was this Force colony a group of younglings at one point? Because I'm trying to figure out how there would be a colony of Force sensitives unless it was directly linked to the Jedi Order 10 years before.
Yeah, it's unclear if these are from the Jedi Order. When you read the article, he mentions, and he was in the chat just a bit ago, so he might still be hanging around. It says, where is it? There's refugees hidden inside who are Jedi material. It's a colony of younger people who should have been Jedi, and thanks to Order 66, they're in hiding. Right.
So they must have been.
What you're talking about, right? There's Jason. MakingStarWars.net. I think it's a mixture of Force sensitive that have been saved. So not necessarily younglings that were saved, but they would go out and gather up Force sensitives from time to time and bring them in, and then and develop them, right?
How young are they? Like, how young are we talking about?
How young are they?
They'd be 20, probably.
Teenagers, perhaps, right? If they were, 5, 6, 7, it's 10 years later, they could be 15, 16, 17, right? So they could be, I would expect they're probably teen age.
Do you know what a big wasted opportunity is? To not have Moff Gideon in this show.
Oh, What do you think? I don't know. I don't know that Moff Gideon would add a lot to the show. This is really...
He'd be part of the ISB. He would know Agent Callus and people like that.
That might be a better opportunity for Andor, just in my
I suppose you're right.
I mean, here we've got Kenobi and yeah. So these, and I saw Jason said they're all over the spectrum in ages. He's told mainly young people. Yeah, so I was thinking that there'd be teens, maybe young teens, older teens, 13 to 18 kind of range. If they were force sensitive during Order 66, they weren't younglings.
Mm-hmm.
They'd be very young, right? So, yeah. So anyway, Kenobi sees these group of people. He sees Leia and whoever this dude is that O'Shea Jackson is playing, right? And that it kind of reinvigorates him, gives him hope that there's something coming, that there are more people out there, that not everybody has just given up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where things don't go so well, right? He says, I don't think many of these force sensitive will survive. Between Vader, the Purge Troopers, which he told us about earlier, right? These Purge Troopers kind of had, as Jason described them, Shore Trooper kind of helmets, but Purge Trooper kind of armor, right? With the new helmets, and Inquisitors, right? So there's going to be a bit of a massacre happen there, and as Jason puts it, hopefully the partisans didn't put all their eggs in one basket, so that they know that there's something going on. Is something that gets Kenobi, right? It gets Obi-Wan a little more refreshed, because when we first see him in the series, he's very dejected, right? And it's not until this point, from what Jason's described, that he begins to turn the corner, and he says, okay, there's something to fight for. There are people out there to fight for. There are resistance, is with the partisans out there, and it's worth fighting for. So pretty exciting. And this is, and there's a lot of talk about Jedi Fallen Order. So I wanted to get here because Jedi Fallen Order, and Jason talks about how much overlap there is in Jedi Fallen Order, and we're expecting in the Star Wars Celebration to give us some preview or announcement around Jedi Fallen Order 2, right?
It's going to be the trailer, apparently.
Okay. But that tie-in to Jedi Fallen Order 2 and all the tie-in to Jedi Fallen Order that's going to be in Kenobi,
yes,
naturally leads people to speculate about Cal Kestis being shown in live action. And I think there's maybe a strong argument being made, because they're building the artifacts that they would use, right? So you saw the BD droid, is that right? BD?
Yes,
BD1,
BD.
right? Saw that in Book of Boba Fett. We're getting these Purge Troopers, whatever. Purge Troopers that are also in Jedi Fallen Order. We're getting a lot of crossover kind of elements in live action. Really, the biggest thing you're missing is Cal Kestis himself, and we just saw him, the actor, with the lightsaber that they released for Galaxy's Edge.
Indeed.
So it leads people to think you're building all these assets. When could we maybe see Cal Kestis in live action? So I talked about it a little bit yesterday, and I put it in a poll to ask folks when we might see certain characters in live action. Cal Kestis we talked about a little bit, and it seemed to be. Um, oh, Martin. So first of all, Cal Kestis in live action. What do you think?
I personally don't think it's going to happen until the sequel for Fallen Order comes out. And the reason I think that is because if there is going to be overlap, they're going to use that in the next game. I can't see a purpose for Cal Kestis appearing in the Kenobi series, but I think ultimately it will lead to that. I'd love for him to still be around by the time of The Mandalorian, though.
It would be great. Again, I think we've got a good chance of seeing him maybe in the Bad Batch, because they were already on the planet where Jedi Fallen Order mainly takes place, right?
I would have disagreed, but now that we know there's going to be a time gap, I think that's definitely a possibility.
It would be. I think people would love to see some of these gaming characters make their way over into shows, and we've seen it over and over again. People wanting to see, say, Revan or Darth Bane or some of the others that they've played in video games make their way over, but we get very few of them have ever made that, if any, right? So it would be great to see maybe Cal Kestis as a current character being brought in.
They have such a golden opportunity with him, though, because Cameron Monaghan looks identical to the character he plays. He's in great shape. He's a mixed martial artist. He's got all the skills and physique to come into one of the shows. I just hope they make it happen before it's too late, sort of thing. Like before he gets older one day.
Right. So to sort of the complaint about the original trilogy mains where they aged and now we've lost Carrie, and who knows how much longer we have to get them in live action. So again, following this squirrel here that Martin put in the chat, have you indeed had the Jabiim tour, or are you scheduled for it?
We're scheduled for it for this week.
Excellent. Because I'm not clicking on that. He said he sent it to me, and it's not a prank, I promise. He promises, but every single time it's Darth Cheeks. Right? I get the picture.
I think it's a prank.
I think that he's trying to get me to look at that photo again during a live stream.
I think you're going to get a pair of bodacious buns if you click on that link.
I think that's exactly what's going to happen. So I'm not doing it. Martin. So, hey, I've been watching the chat, been seeing some fantastic discussion in the chat. It's not Darth Cheeks this time. I don't believe you, Martin.
It's probably Darth Balls.
I don't believe him. I will look at it after the stream, Martin. I'll look at it after the. Let's see. I saw a lot of people wanting to see Cal Kestis in live action. And then let's see. Yeah. X-Wing being very funny. Very funny. Well, and I will say this again, the transition of live action to animation to live action is not a one-to-one kind of situation. And one of the best examples of that, in my opinion, is Count Dooku. Yeah. Count Dooku in animation looks nothing like Count Dooku.
It's like, does he want some Count Dooku with that nose?
Right. It's kind of ridiculous. So, look, if Count Dooku, who first appeared in live action, makes it to animation, looks nothing like Count Dooku in live action, the expectation that animated characters would make their way over. Now, the best argument against that is that we did have that species, right? That in the prequels. So
we did, the Powans.
Yeah, the Powans, we've seen them in live action, and they look nothing like the brief glimpses that we've got of the Grand Inquisitor, who is supposed to be the... I know I've cried wolf many times, but seriously. He needs us to lock it in live on the air so that you can't back out. Martin, I swear, if you've done it again, here I go. I'm opening it. I knew it. Liar.
Was it Darth Cheeks again?
Of course it was Darth Cheeks again. That was
wholesome.
I hate you.
Very wholesome.
Martin, I can't take it. And if you all are you're coming in the chat, you've not seen Darth Cheeks, you need to come find us in Discord. The link to our Discord is in the description here, and Martin posts it from time to time in the Nikki, did you instigate Martin to do that? It's just wrong. It's just wrong. So Jedi Fallen Order, Cal Kestis, we're expecting the Jedi Fallen Order 2 trailer at the Star Wars Celebration, and there's supposed to be something else coming up soon. Barth Natty.
I think that's Michael J. Bartholomew Nathaniel Davidson Jr. II.
I see. It's the shortened version. Very good. There's another announcement that folks are hoping for, and I think it's mainly just around upcoming shows that haven't been yet announced. So that's all else I would expect. Anything else on these stories here before we go to the next one?
I think we're good.
Did I miss anything here? I did want to bring up Jabiim. So, look, a lot of folks are getting excited about seeing Jabiim, and there's a reason for that. And just if folks don't know, you've not read a lot of the EU, you haven't familiarized yourself with Jabiim outside of whatever's going on in the movies and shows. This has a lot of fans of the EU excited because it has quite an extensive storyline. From the canon, it only appears 2 places. It's in the Force Awakens beginner game and a bit of a map, a galaxy map, right? That's about it. There's very little about it. In Legends, however, it's quite extensive. And it goes back to like 2003. And again, I'm not going to read all of this. You guys can go look at that yourselves. I just wanted to get down to all the appearances. You can see it's in Star Wars: The Old Republic. So some KOTOR stuff, right? Count Dooku, Republic Commando, several of the comics and books. So it goes on and on and on, right? Plenty of instances of Jabiim and its involvement during the Empire, right?
Indeed.
All right. So that covers makingstarwars.net. You guys make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, as well as visit the website where Jason publishes this information on a regular basis. And we had heard some rumblings of Jabiim. We had heard some rumblings of a big thing going on there, but it's just coming to light now, and it's something that we wanted to cover. So there you have it. All right. We have another story released just today from Bespin Bulletin, or it was yesterday, right? Grammar Rodeo's starting. So another project that's in it's Jason's neck of the woods. This is already starting over in Culver City, California. And Bespin Bulletin's reporting that they've already started working on some of the set pieces. And it says here, Corroborated claims revealed more around the series, including Favreau is on board, right? Favreau is a producer. This is where we had the story about John Watts was in talks to direct some of it, and on and on and on. But he says the series is just a few short months away from filming, and he's informed that pre-production for a small number of weeks at a studio in Culver City, California, where sets are being prepared ahead of the June start. So June is where we're supposed to get started, and they're building some of the set pieces. Very exciting, and this is the project that this is what I was trying to remind myself. What we might get another announcement for at Celebration, perhaps May the 4th, but I don't trust Lucasfilm to give us any information on Star Wars Day. With Celebration being right after that, I would expect that we might get something on Grammar Rodeo announced at Celebration. What do you think?
I think so. I covered it in my news update today, and I think it's definitely going to be High Republic. If Cinelinx and Discuss Film and all of those outlets are saying it's pretty much going to be something based in the High Republic era, then we should hear from it very soon if it's in pre-production. And I think there's going to be quite a few surprises at Celebration this year. We might even find out about the mall show that was supposedly in the works.
The continuation of, this is the High Republic Stranger Things show, X-Wing. Right. He said, never mind. That's the Solo 2 kind of continuation of Solo with the Crimson Dawn, Maul leading the Crimson Dawn, maybe Kira in it and all of that. Yeah.
I'd hope so.
Yeah. And then we might get this announced. This now the High Republic era is a really broad swath. One of them, the Acolyte, is supposed to be right at the end of the High Republic era, and we haven't heard an update on it in months. This Grammar Rodeo is not the Acolyte; it's something else. The High Republic novels happen at a different time in the phase 1 of the novels happens at a different era of the High Republic. Phase 2 of the novels is coming up. It happens like 100 years before phase 1, and then phase 3 will come, and it'll happen after the phase 1. So this High Republic show, that's the kind of Stranger Things preteen series, we don't have any clue what part of the High Republic era that might be. Right?
It's a very good point.
Jedi Might, Tales of the Jedi. Well, we would love to see Tales of the Jedi. We haven't heard any update on that either. Might they announce Tales of the Jedi at Celebration, or is that just a fan dream?
I mean, there's already a logo for it, and it was given as a Lucasfilm fan gift at Christmas, so it could be in the work. And a lot of other projects could be as well in the pipeline for upcoming unannounced series and movies and everything.
It's very exciting. And I know I can't make it to Celebration. Martin's going out there. Darth Elvis may make his way out there. I haven't heard yet if Elvis has been scheduled yet. But that would be very exciting for them to get out there. And I know that Sheev the Wise is having a little gathering of folks out there. It's in his neighborhood, so to speak, right? It's close to where he lives. So they're going to have a gathering out there, and many folks are going over to meet. Last I heard, you're not going to be able to make it either.
I can't make it. No.
No, me neither. X-Wing's somewhat close. He might be able to drive on down there, but Meg and I will just have to hold down the fort while you guys are out there having fun.
We'll cover the online Star Wars coverage of it.
There you go. Yeah, I know Martin's going to be there. Martin, have you managed to get Darth Elvis booked? I know that Martin is involved in all that kind of stuff without getting too much into it. I know that he's involved in the planning of parts of some of the stuff around Celebration. So it'd be great if Darth Elvis is going to be out there as well. You guys could look for Darth Cheeks at Celebration. He could make it. Yes, I know. Darth Elvis is here. Okay, so that covers Bespin Bulletin's story. And again, you covered it this morning as well on yours. There's a couple other stories to cover. And this is the other one that you talked about. We know that Vader is going to be in Kenobi, and they're going to have these battles. And Debra Chow, in this Entertainment Weekly article, gave some information about the version of Vader we're going to see. It's not the Vader from, this is 10 years after Revenge of the Sith, but it's a good bit yet still before A New Hope. So he's in that in-between stage. And that's what she talks about in here, right? She says that the part I wanted to pull out here was right here. Here it is, right here. I mean, so wait. Character, here it is. Wanted to do something that was character-based and character-driven, because that's a benefit of a limited series. It's one of the things that we got a lot of criticism in the sequel trilogy, is that you had a lot of characters, but there wasn't a lot of character development. I disagree with that to some degree. I did see quite a bit of character development of the mains. A lot of people didn't see the character development they wanted, so they discount it. But for me, anyway, I really enjoyed the sequels. I enjoyed the character development what was in there. Now, there's a lot more opportunity to develop the characters in some shows. I would love to see some Disney Plus series featuring the sequel trilogy characters, whether it's animated, live action, or whatnot. I'm sign me up for it, all of it. But one of the criticisms has been the lack of character development in some of the newer, in the sequel trilogy specifically. And what you have a great opportunity in a series is to do the character development and have character-driven character development in the character-based shows. So I found it really encouraging to see Debra talking about a character-based and character-driven story. What do you think?
I think it was pretty interesting to hear her insight on it, because in a sense she does have to model Vader based on her own vision for the show. And to hear that he's going to be in between trilogies and not fully a New Hope Vader, but not Revenge of the Sith at the end of Vader, I kind of think it's going to be a more like raw, emotional, angry Vader that's kind of got Anakin's reckless behavior.
That's I'm glad you brought that up, because there's a lot of EU content with Vader, a lot, right? Even some of the newer comics from the Vader run are during this time period in between the prequel and the original trilogy era. A lot of Vader content in there. The Vader, his character is really well known by people who have been keeping up with the comics, who have read the novels, and there's a certain expectation of Vader in this time era. And the only concern that I have is that Debra's, or the folks producing this, Debra, of course, being the showrunner, may not have the precise version of Vader that they expect to see.
I think going into it, that's really important to kind of realize going into the show. This Vader is not going to be everything you expect. And I feel like that's going to be where a lot of fan criticism comes from, is in these characters not being exactly what they thought they should be.
Right. It's some of what we got in Boba Fett as well, right?
Yeah.
Was a lot of criticism
Absolutely.
from the Book of Boba Fett is that he wasn't the Boba Fett that they expected to see or wanted to see. And my concern is that that the Vader that we see in here, and I hope that what you said, we get a very emotional, angsty, violent Vader, who is kind of taking out his anger and vengeance on anybody that he would come across. I hope that that's what they do, and that they meet the expectation of many of the and I hate this term, but the more hardcore fans who have read more of the EU, or are familiar with Star Wars outside of what is in just the movies. Those folks who have been fans of Vader for so many years and have read so much of the content expect a certain character, and so she's got really big shoes to fill.
I think she's going to do an amazing job. I mean, Debra Chow really is what Star Wars needs for the live action stuff. Her directing skills are incredible, and I really have no doubt she's going to blow this one out of the park.
I hope so too. This just cracked me up. Vader's going to hunt with respect. just
oh, like a panther.
Very funny. Very, very funny. That is good. No, I think she is going to do a good job. And we've seen, and they bring it up in this article. It's I know.
I love that song. I can imagine Vader singing it now.
This Entertainment Weekly article, we've already seen where Kathleen Kennedy talked about how seriously they took this series and how the creatives at Lucasfilm had very heated discussions about it, had very passionate discussions about the content. And I'm absolutely sure that Debra's going to do a fantastic job with this, and that the folks that we really, really look to at Lucasfilm, Dave Filoni being head of the story group, that he would ensure that we're going to get a Vader that's going to satisfy fans. Right? I think that has to be very, very important.
It absolutely does. Sorry, a speeder just went past.
Was it a Vespa?
No, it was. The Teletubby Vespas, as I call them.
So very good. And again, this Entertainment Weekly article, I wanted to. They have a tease at the bottom of it. Would you like to get a copy of this? I said, sure, I would. I would love to get a copy of this. No, you can't. You're a loser. Oh.
Wait, what's the issue?
Yeah, it's no longer available. It's this issue with the last print edition of Entertainment Weekly. They're just going to be online from here, and it's this issue here that we've got so much content out of, and it's out of stock. I can't get it. So if any of you know where I can get a copy of this, hit me up in Discord. I would love to get a copy, maybe frame it and put it up on the wall. That would be great.
I've got Time magazine from the weekend before The Phantom Menace came out. I've got that framed.
Very nice.
I collect a lot of random prequel stuff.
Well, this would be a great magazine to collect. And I would think that that's why I can't get one.
I thought the same thing about the Book of Boba Fett magazine beforehand, and then after the show, I kind of want to get rid of all my Boba Fett stuff.
Oh, Meg. Yeah. No, Martin, do not email me a copy. I want a...
He should do it.
I was gonna finish that sentence, but I think Martin has my mailing address. And I don't want a print of what he was going to email me either. I don't need. I don't need that. I don't need that. I don't need a print of Darth Cheeks. Don't do it. So hey, Darren Ferguson, huge fan from both from Newcastle
Oh, up
in the
north.
UK. Yeah, that's
Awesome.
up. Yeah, fantastic.
They've got a really good football team.
You mean soccer?
I mean soccer. Yeah.
I'm joking. I knew what you meant when you said football. Yeah, love to see you on a Nerd Theory with Josh and Theory sometime.
I recently did Josh's podcast.
Yeah, I enjoyed listening to that as well. I thought that was great, and I know that Nerd Theory they haven't had guests on there in some time. I was a guest on there a couple times, and I thought it would have been great to get you on as a guest there. So we'll see. Perhaps someday.
Maybe someday.
We'll see. But these 5.5 hours, 6 hours live streams they do in the middle of the night aren't helping me out at all.
I wake up in the morning and they're still going, and they had just started when I went to bed.
It's unbelievable. They need to rein that in.
It's not a criticism. It's just interesting as someone in the UK.
I hope maybe this weekend, we were just talking right before we came on live, our plans for the weekend. Hopefully this weekend, my wife and I get out of the house and I can maybe look to see if the magazine's on the stand somewhere. I would love to get this in good condition and frame it and have it here. That'd be great.
Daryl is in the chat. I was on his channel, The Vac Tube, and I came up with a song for his channel, and I sent X-Wing the lyrics because X-Wing delivered it perfectly. It's not very safe for this stream, though.
Seth, the guy that came on and kind of got blown up, he's actually a friend of ours. He's done several live streams with me, and he is a great guy. He's a great guy. I think he came in a little... he made a mistake. He's a young kid. He made a big mistake, but he's
what's his name?
Wonderful fan.
Levi
Bond
from All New
Shills. Nerds. Yeah, all new nerds. Levi Bond. He is fantastic. I've done several live streams with him, and I love the guy. He's really good. And for me, it's exciting to see younger generation folks like you, Levi, and the folks over at All New Nerds. All those kids are great. I call you kids because you're the age of my daughter. So you're younger than my oldest. So I take some liberty to do that. But
he's from Canada.
I'm super excited that perhaps another generation is coming up who loves Star Wars, and Star Wars is never going to die as long as you keep bringing in new generations of fans that can carry on their excitement. What do I call you, Martin? What do I call you? I call you my nemesis. You. Oh my goodness. So the last story here that I have up, and then I can quit sharing the screen, is this Shadow of the Sith. This is a novel that's coming out this summer. It's placed between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens. This is not going to be for everybody.
I do have the full package. Right, Santa's the one who said I've got the full package. That's what Thingy Bob said. The best girl Batman.
Yes, Meg is the full package. Right, like Sheev was the Senate. I am the Senate. No, Meg is the full package. That's what she is. So
I'm sheriff. I'm marshal. I'm Senate.
That's right.
I'm probably your mom. Anyway.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I don't know that this book is going to be for everybody. There are people who are not fans of the sequel trilogy that don't want any content that kind of leads to the sequel trilogy, that don't want to have anything that connects to the sequel trilogy. They just want to put that aside and let it go. For me, I am looking forward to it. I love the sequel trilogy, and I think it'll be great to get more of that content in between. Especially, you get Luke and his good friend here, who are going there. Why am I just drawing a blank on Lando Calrissian? There you go. Luke and Lando are in the Rise of Skywalker, when they go to the planet and they meet Lando, the Ochi Fastoon, who had the Sith blade that they ended up using to go get the holocron and all of that.
Do you mean Ochi of Bestoon?
Ochi of Bestoon is, what did I say? Did I not
I
say
think
that?
someone typed in Fastoon. Ouchie of Fastoon.
X-Wing. X-Wing's playing off of what you always do to me, right? But I think this is going to kind of help some of us who want more of that content, want more of the backstory, and want to be able to follow the story in between, to get the backstory of Ochi and Luke and Lando.
I read this excerpt this morning, and it looks like a really good book, but something really rubbed me the wrong way, and something else rubbed me the wrong way in this article is that Lando is looking for his daughter, and it's like a clear attempt to bridge the Rise of Skywalker ending, with Jannah.
Yeah. Yep.
That kind of feels deliberate.
Well, yeah. And the part you read this morning, it was right here at the end. Luke is, for those who haven't read it, Luke's on Exegol, and he's fighting with some wraiths who are like coming in and out of reality. They're ghosts. They're solid. They're ghosts. They're solid. And he's fighting with them, and there's like 9 of them. And at the end of the fight, this blue figure turns up. And he's got his lightsaber, and the wraiths flee. And when the blue figure turns around, it's Anakin. So Anakin reaches out his hand, which is interesting because, again, he's a Force ghost. And
Anakin was always good with his hands, according to Padme.
According to Padme. So we are going to get perhaps one of the first, or the first encounter with Luke and Anakin in post Return of the Jedi. Meg.
So, someone in the chat makes a really good point.
I saw that. Where's Brian with the beard again? I need him. Where is he? So yeah, we get this interaction here with Luke and Anakin, and I think the book's got a lot of potential. I'm looking forward to reading it. I take it you're looking forward to reading it.
I certainly am. I feel like there'll be a few good gems in there. And as Star Force One said, like, they are connecting Mando to these stories, so a lot of it will interconnect. And Adam Christopher's a really good author, isn't he?
I think so. I read that excerpt, and it captured me right away. And by the way, you guys can find that on StarWars.com. The article is there, and you can read the preview of the book. I know there's some folks who haven't watched Mandalorian because they're worried about it leading to the sequel trilogy, and they absolutely don't want anything to connect to the sequel trilogy. And so I can understand folks not necessarily wanting to read it. I also understand folks who just want to like move on, right? And that's fine. That's fine. But for the rest of us, for some of us, we are excited about it. And it's the same with the High Republic. I know you tried reading Light of the Jedi. You didn't make it, right?
Yeah, it wasn't really my cup of tea.
Yeah. No, I've read all of the young adult, and preteen books in the uh, High Republic series. So there's been 9 of those. I've read all of them. Some of them I like, some of them I don't. It's up and down for me. There's at least one of them that is absolutely fantastic. Like uh, one of the best Star Wars novels I've ever read in any era. The High Republic is hit and miss for me, but overall, I enjoyed the series, and I'm looking forward to the content that's coming. There is some tie over between the High Republic and the prequel era, and the High Republic and the sequel era. So it all kind of it's they are working. You mentioned this book seems somewhat deliberate. Um, they're working to do that. They're absolutely working to make more connections to the entire universe, and the sequel trilogy included, which brings up the point you and I have mentioned before. Sequel trilogy is not going anywhere.
It's not going anywhere.
Yeah. For folks who are adamant that it's going to be retcon, it's going to be stricken from canon, that it's going to be abandoned, it's just not true. It's just not happening. And so need to get that.
I feel like it's not going to get retconned. It's not going to get removed from canon or anything like that. But I think the Ahsoka series is possibly an opportunity to maybe develop some threads that could, how do I put this, soothe the wounds of fans who didn't like the sequels. Well, I was rewatching Rebels, and I can't help but feel that they might do something with the World Between Worlds, but it's not going to be retconning anything.
Yeah. Interesting. Even in this novel, there is a point where Luke transports from the Seeing Stone that we saw in Mandalorian season 2 that Grogu was on, that same stone. He transports from there to Exegol. It just happens. And he's confused by it. Is he really there? Is he not really there? What's going on? And then he has this thing with the race that are there and they're not there. And there was a fantastic theory that I saw about the World Between Worlds, and had to do with the dyad. I know X-Wing just threw up in his mouth a little bit. I know. I'm sorry. But with the dyad, that actually everything that happened through that was through the World Between Worlds. It's what connects everything together. And that anytime somebody's communicating with somebody through the Force, or like the Rey and Ben were, shared that lightsaber, all of that is actually connected with the World Between Worlds. So I think something like that could happen, right?
I agree. I think it's a very good theory.
Thank you for the $5 super chat. That's very nice. You don't get enough super chats. Thank you. Thank you, sir. That is very, very nice. I appreciate it. And I know. And look, this is what I'm really happy about. It. I am a minority in most of our live streams. I am like one of the few who is a sequel fan. The folks who are in my chat, the Meg, you like The Last Jedi, not so fond of the other two, right?
Indeed.
Yeah.
It's the only one I like. And I can't explain it. I literally can't explain it. All of the logic should say I dislike it, but for some reason it's the one sequel film I can tolerate time and time again and actually have a good time.
I just rewatched the prequels this week. Tuesday. I wasn't live streaming and I was working, and I turned them on and rewatched the movie that I really struggled the most with is the Attack of the Clones.
That's the best movie.
It's not the best, but
I love Attack of the Clones. I'm a prequels fan. Attack of the Clones for me is like, it's like a lovely sip of lemonade with ice on a very hot day where you've been yearning for a beverage for 2 hours in the hot sun.
If the lemonade doesn't have any sugar in it, then I would agree with you.
Oh no, it's perfectly sweet. It just goes down your throat when you. Okay, that it sounded better in my head.
Again, it was better.
I was about to get quite throaty.
X-Wing, thank you so much for the super chat, $10 super chat. That is very generous of you. And you know, X-Wing and I, we haze each other quite a bit. X-Wing trolls me. I love the dude. He's a fantastic person, fantastic fan. I love the community he's building, and that we have all kind of come together here. It's good. It's very nice. So thank you for that.
He's brilliant.
I see what X-Wing put there. I know that's what you're chuckling at.
I love how Santa had to pause before confirming that X-Wing is a person. He was like, X-Wing is a lovely person.
It's like my daughter's new boyfriend we talked about just before the show. I was like, well, I mean, of people that I've never met, he's one of them. He is a person. So I mean, that's a start. So anyhow, so what else do we? There's a couple other really exciting things. The Lego Star Wars game. We got a new trailer this week. We've seen some gameplay walkthroughs of it this week, and it looks fantastic. It looks like something that a lot of people are going to enjoy, and it should be great for Star Wars fans.
Mm-hmm. I can't wait. It comes out 5 days before my birthday. And
Meg's birthday
I'm very much looking forward to playing as Yaddle. And of course, the first chapter I'm going to play is Attack of the Clones, one of the best movies ever made.
Not one of the best, but you know what? Over time, I've gotten more and more comfortable with those movies. I still don't. I say this all the time. I don't have a good relationship with them, but I'm not as negative toward them as I've always been. And Attack of the Clones has always been the worst for me, the hardest for me to watch, and something that typically then I have to turn it off for a while, and I won't watch Star Wars for a while because I just really get set off by it.
I think I've worked out your problem, like your problem with the film, not your problem.
I have many of them, right?
We all do.
One.
I think it's because you have to put a certain cap on when watching Attack of the Clones. It's a very different vibe to the sequels. The sequels try to take themselves so seriously. But Attack of the Clones, if you just see it as a fun movie, you'll really get to love it. I watch it every month.
Every month? Hey, the Knights of Melvin.
I know almost every line in the film.
I just watched Knights of Melvin's live stream from last night. I watched it this morning as I was kind of getting ready for the show. And so I appreciate you jumping into the chat. Thank you for that. Star Wars Fits. Oh, my goodness. 30 euros. Y'all have a great weekend. And looking so forward to Star Wars Lego in a couple of weeks. That is fantastic. Fitz is a good friend of mine as well. I just got to talk to him. We just had a get to know you kind of a session this week. It was great to spend some time.
And you know what's great about the Lego game? Once you've completed Return of the Jedi, you don't even have to worry with the last 3 films because they're not canon.
Daryl, another $5 super chat. Yaddle, is that what they calling it these days? Thor Skywalker put out a video yesterday that I thought was really, really well done. And he talks about there's kind of 3 different canons, if you will. There's the George Lucas canon, which I think most people, for the most part, hold high. And that includes the prequel trilogy and the original trilogy. A good part of the Clone Wars animated series, he was involved in that. And there's some... there's a little bit of what's the term? Like argument among some fans over is it or isn't it fully canon because he wasn't fully involved. And Rebels, the same thing. Rebels, most of it was done during all of it during the Disney era. But again, Dave Filoni was the showrunner of that, and Dave is, by all reports, George's disciple. So that would be considered all the George Lucas canon. And then, as Thor put it, there's what is now labeled Legends, but the extended universe, the expanded universe, that includes the novels and the comics, the games, and all of that was during the George Lucas era, but that he never considered canon. And so the extended universe canon.
Whoa, Sheev, calm down. He's talking about doing Nikki.
I see that. Have you gotten her consent? That's the only thing that, did you get Nikki's consent? And what about your girlfriend, Kathy? How's Kathy going to take that? That's what I understand.
And what are you doing with your brain that requires a cleansing? I guess he's giving her head. But
oh my goodness. But the expanded universe canon, a lot of people enjoyed it. And there are some great stories in the expanded universe. There's some great content there, development of the characters that a lot of people love. And then there's the Disney Lucasfilm era canon. And again, some people enjoy more of that than others. I am a big fan of that era. In fact, there are parts of all three of those canons, if you want to separate them that way, that I enjoy. And there are parts of all three of those that I don't enjoy. And I think as Star Wars fans, we all kind of have that relationship with Star Wars to some degree. Whether you hate all of the Disney, right? And Knights of Melvin's here. I understand Melvin. I get it. But some people just reject all of that. They're not in for any of it. But I would say most Star Wars fans really enjoy The Mandalorian, for example. Even if you were a George Lucas, you hold him on a pedestal. Most people enjoy that.
A George Lucas purist, you might say.
Yes, the George Lucas purist.
Do you know what I have a problem with a lot of Disney content? Not necessarily the shows, but like the High Republic. Just the way they name everything. Everything sounds like a sexual innuendo. Like when I first saw Starlight Beacon, I was like, where can I buy one? Anyway.
Oh, Meg. I love you so much.
I shouldn't say this in front of the kid, the Ewok.
Right. I mean, there's a child in the room right there. So there was one other thing I wanted to bring up. Hasbro has been releasing some new figures this week, some vintage collection, Black Series stuff. They're Walmart exclusives. Walmart has an annual thing that they've started to do called Collector Con, and in that they have these exclusives. I am one who, among many collectors, am not a fan of these exclusive runs that they run with the big retailers, Walmart, Target, Amazon, you name it. I am not a fan of them running exclusives. Now, for you're one of these fortunate fans who lives in the UK, and such a thing does not exist, right? There's no such thing as exclusive runs, and you can get them through your regular retailers there. But for us in the States, it is terrible. It's absolutely terrible. As Martin says, they're ensuring a premium pre-order experience. It's absolute garbage. It's terrible. I really wanted one of the new vintage collection R2D2s, and if you've seen this figure, it's tremendous. The amount of features you get in a vintage collection R2. It's a really, really nice figure. And I was trying to get one ordered yesterday, and and I could only get one, and I took the one I could get. I wanted to get at least two. No luck for me. So if you're a collector, we do have figures being released yesterday, today, and tomorrow. So look for those.
Yeah, exclusives are a bit odd. We don't really have them here.
Yeah, and you've got a great retailer just around the corner from you, Meg. All the cool stuff.
Do I?
David Tree.
Oh yeah.
He is a great guy and somebody that I've been working with for our giveaways, and he is helping support the Ukrainian refugee situation there with the channel. We've kind of cooperated here, and so
Jason, I love that. Hasbro, what about Has Sisters? Think about it, sheeple.
There you go. So that's all good. Star Wars Obsession has stopped in, and I know he's looking forward to getting to talk to you somewhat soon. So very good. So again, when are you doing your Jabiim tour?
I think soon.
Soon is non-specific. And I'm not.
I think Martin should send you. Yeah, I was going to say Martin should send you an email.
No more direct communications from Martin today. I've had my. I almost said a word, and I just stopped.
I think Martin's been a bit cheeky.
Not going to go further with that. Anything else, Meg? I have such a great time visiting with you, and I could spend all day talking with you. But what else from this week's news have we missed? Anything coming up that we should be excited about?
I think we've covered most fronts. I can't think of anything else. I think that covers all bases. Bases. Bays.
You did it again. Twice in one live stream, Martin. Twice. He sent me a link to get the Entertainment Weekly article or magazine that I could order the Entertainment Weekly magazine. It wasn't a link.
No, it's probably an image.
It was. Star Wars Obsession, thank you for the $5 super chat. Appreciate your support. Santa and Meg, let's go positive very soon. I would love to do that. And I saw you tweeted with or without me. You know, Meg is certainly the VIP in the room. Let's not mix anything. Meg is the VIP. You can do it with or without me. I would be honored to be able to join the two of you if that can happen. So
I think Santa just offered me a threesome. I'm going to have to reject on this occasion.
I thought your limit was 4. Wait, I saw that. Martin, stop. He sent me 2 more. No, I'm not opening them. Oh my goodness. Will I be getting the Lego Star Wars game? Boy, I want it so bad, but that's right. Daniel added another thing. I would love to get it, but I've got a bit of a game addiction issue, and it's being able to manage that addiction and enjoy the game. And I don't know if I can. I want to badly. I don't know if it's possible. And Daniel asked about the Forlom. We didn't mention Forlom.
Or his brother Foreskin.
That got me demonetized yesterday, Meg.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It was monetized, and I checked it after the live stream and said, "Wow, it's still monetized." I got up this morning demonetized, and I was like, "Well, at least you gave me a 10-pound super chat to get it demonetized. So that's more than I make on the monetization. So I appreciate that."
See, it all worked out.
it all worked out. And we all had fun. And I think we briefly mentioned Forlom, right? The bounty hunter is going to be making an appearance. We've not yet heard the full scope of it, although they did report, Star Wars Newsnet did report that it would be more screen time than he had in the original trilogy. But that's not saying a lot, is it?
It's not. And it could literally just be like with Forlom, a 2-second background cameo.
Yeah, it doesn't take much to get more screen time. We could. The question is, where will he make that appearance, and what will it be? Will it be doing anything? Will there be any dialogue? Will it be anything like that? I don't know. So, all right. Well, Meg, once again, I'm going to try something one more time. I've been trying to do this integration with Streamlabs. I'm going to try something. Let me click this button, see what happens. Woo! A thing happened. Look at that. The thing. Wait, it happened. Let me turn it off. Ooh. Hey, the Streamlabs thing, it gets all the participation from the live stream, all of our members and all of that, and throws them in there. So now that I've figured out that works and how to make it work, I can integrate that into future live streams. So thank you for putting up with that. We're going to go ahead and read the Mike Porter dad joke of the day. And it's a prequel-themed Star Wars dad joke today. This is for you, Meg.
Enticing.
Put it right here. Why did Amidala always seem positive?
Why?
Because if you did something good, she'd always Padme you on the back. Mike Porter,
so
we
bad.
love you. Absolutely love you, Meg. And Mike Porter, thank you for that. Dominic, I've been seeing you guys, you and Martin. I tell you, the two of you together, you formed a brotherhood. It needs to stop. You're hilarious. All right. Well, then that is it for today. Thank you all for being here. I hope you all have a wonderful afternoon, a fantastic evening, and a great weekend. And we will see you here next week. Until then, my friends, ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas, and may the Force be with you always. Bye-bye.
Merry Christmas.
Ho, 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 ho. Hot dang! Talking through the news from a galaxy far away. Toys and book reviews, positivity all the way. Come and join the fun, subscribe and like away. Movie news and show reviews, it's like Christmas every day. Oh, Star Wars Santa, Star Wars Santa, the Star Wars Santa show. Oh, what fun it is to chat on the Star Wars Santa show. Oh, Star Wars Santa, Star Wars Santa, the Star Wars Santa show. Oh, what fun it is to chat on the Star Wars Santa show. Ho, 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 ho. Hot dang, ladies and gentlemen, you're in for